morning in the city of Lagos. Yes, today is the 29th day in the month of October 2024. It's our Tuesday with a difference. You know how we do it here on the show. This is Family and Values on Galaxy Television, where we are reaching out for the stars. Don't mind the fact that I'm calm this early morning. It's Tuesday with a difference. We're trying to be calm, you know. Let's take it easy. All right, yes, this is Family and Values on Galaxy Television, where we're reaching out for the stars. My name is Princess Joy Ayo Abu. If this is the first time you're coming across this show, Family and Values is where we talk about everything that has to do with your family, my family. Everyone around you belongs to a family, that belongs to a community, that belongs to a village. So we are talking about the values we instill among one another, and we run through Monday all the way to Fridays with exciting topics from relationship to parenting to coaching to business. Yes, we discuss business here, you know. Those things, you know, you'd want to understand and learn here on Family and Values. We have it all covered, and we got you covered. We got you covered every day. Welcome to the show. Enjoy and relax yourself while we sail on this journey. Of course, you know it's on our show, and very soon these pretty ladies will be off your screen. For the meantime, sit back and enjoy the show. Now, on my way to work this morning, I saw something that caught my attention, and I thought I should mention it. In as much as we are blaming the government for not doing certain things, I think we individually have to help ourselves. Now, if you are a commuter, or you're a motorist, or you own a vehicle, I think the most important thing to do to have your car broken down is to find a way to take it off the road to avoid unnecessary issues. Because when you have somebody's car broken down and the person is insisting that you must open your bonnet there, you must do everything, and people are coming, come on, it doesn't right among us, you know. So when we are blaming the government, let's also search ourselves to know where we can also help one another. People are going to work and they'll get late, and so they are waiting for you. And you know the road is narrow and everybody is shouting, told the car, and you're just being adamant. Come on, it shows the kind of parents you are at home. Truly, it reflects whatever they say. Charity begins at home. It shows how you handle your home, you know. So I felt a bit disappointed this morning because stuff like that shouldn't happen among us. Yes, it's still Family and Values on Galaxy Television, and you know, when you see me on the screen, I'm not always alone. This smile is not always, it's not just me. It is me, myself, and I plus my partner. Okay, how we do it on the show this morning. Let me introduce Mama Gen Z to you. You call her Olori. I call her Mama Gen Z because that's the vibe she gives to me, you know. Good morning, but this morning you're not bringing her. Why you? What is the whole this thing? Okay, what your hand. I'm not talking again. Good morning, you look beautiful. see how beautiful she is.
For me, so I love it when someone picks a picture because it makes me feel I'm still here.
Yes, because yeah.
Direction be
you are still here. I will trouble you definitely.
Someone was saying something about. You know how it feels when you're yet together. Loneliness is not a good thing. But when you have loneliness with a peace of mind, I think it's better.
It is better.
But when you don't have anybody to trouble you, you don't have anybody to whine you or put you in that mood that will make you to want to explore and release, you know, and talk. Especially for those who are yet to be married, those who are matured, who are believing God for their partner, that you're male, you're female, you're seeking God for partner. I pray the Lord will remember you this morning. Today is another beautiful Tuesday, and what I want to tell you is that thank God every morning when you get up from your bed. Even when you're about to, we have not even stepped out, you understand, step on your way out. No, the moment you wake up in the morning, thank God for the gift of life. Something, you know, it's giving you something. The fact that you're alive means that you have hope to do something. You know, just like I'm talking about those who are single. When you have a partner next to you, you have somebody who will say, see you, you know, you talk. Yeah, some people tell you can gist with God, yes, but you cannot cuddle God. Can you? You cannot do all those things that you have to do with your partner, with God. that's why he decided to say man should not be, you know, alone. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're not supposed to be alone. So I pray God will remember you. And like I said, when you wake up every morning, the moment you get up, just thank God that, God, thank you that you have set today up for me. And that means I have to do something, you know, to make my life meaningful, okay? And you must, you know, those things must be done. It is not left to you to be able to do those things because you are alive. So one thing is for you to have life, another thing is for you to be able to do it whether you like it or not. You can choose not to do it. And it means another setback. Yes, when you don't do what you're supposed to do at the time you're supposed to do it, it's a setback. So it's only God that can refrain, can bring it back to you. So I pray that you will not miss every opportunity that God has set before you today. You won't miss it if you are ready to take hold of it and grab it and use it effectively. It's a beautiful morning, like you heard. You can join us on all our social media platforms. It's all live on from Facebook to YouTube to X. And also don't forget, you can join us on National Digitalized Station 741 on AVO app. When you download it, you see Galaxy Television on O Prime. We're also on O Prime application. Don't forget, you can always do Galaxy app also. Just download it and we're on the go. Anytime, wherever you are, you're joining us live. I would pray that even as you join us, you pick one or two things that will actually have a meaningful impact in your home, in your family, and in your life. My name is Remain Olori Adejoke David, and we're going to set out today because my friends call me Olori AJ. On a beautiful note with my darling sister sitting next to me, Princess.
Yeah, we are going to set out.
Princess Joy Ayo. Not that Ayo.
The name kind of sounds different. You can say Ayo Abu, but that's
it doesn't sound as different. I'm used to an Ayo name because he was my teacher when I was in school.
No wonder. You're the one.
He was an accountant. And you know, he's one of those people that worked with the late MQ Abiola in Concord. So anytime he's doing the accounting and everything, I'm always. So when you say Ayo, I remember him.
You not remember this. It's alright. Wherever he is, we're listening to. Do we have any birthday shout outs?
Yes, birthday shout out. Happy birthday, Barrister. Barrister Gabriel Gigonu Tinka. Barrister Gabriel.
I hope he's not Johnson's
Tinka. He is Johnson's brother. So this is coming from your brother, Johnson Tinka. He is one of our cameramen here. So happy birthday to you. Many more fulfilling new age. Also to Pastor Olufemi Esho. He works at 60. Clock 60 today. So happy birthday to Pastor Olufemi Esho from Yetunde, Mr. and Mrs. Ogidon from the Ogidons. So happy birthday to you. And finally to Temitope Oluwajayi Oba from Praise Mistral, from Good News Center, and also from Family and Values, to all these beautiful people and every other people celebrating. So happy birthday.
The moment I heard that thing, I knew that it has to be Johnson's family, because it's only Johnson's family that I know best that thing. So I knew that shout out was coming from him. Yeah, it is.
You know, sister is also in the media.
Yes, I know. Yeah, so to everyone celebrating, we are celebrating with you. We are wishing you the very best. Family is unity. Family is key. Hold on to the unity you've always known in the family bond. All right, let's go into the business of the day. Let's go into our mini feature, and when we return, our guest is pretty seated. You don't want to miss this one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Better understanding of what we are talking about, and today we will be discussing foster parenting. There is a big difference between adoption and foster parenting, and it's important. We've talked about adoption on the show, we've talked about the laws, but now we say let's talk about foster parenting, and let's know what. You hear somebody say, those are my foster parents. I hear it a whole lot. Oh, I'm going to my foster parents' house. Now let's know what that foster parenting is all about. And we have a beautiful, when I say beautiful, elegant lady who is our guest for the very first time on Family and Values. Now she's been incorporated into our fellowship. So give me the clues, because I'm going to be reading her a little bit to give you an idea of this beautiful guest we have here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, I'm just going to give a brief background. Of course, you know she is Amara Ena Dele. Am I right? Dele Erin. Okay, let me put the Dele Erin. Of course, Erin. Erin. That's the typical Yoruba name. Erin. Erin.
That's elephant.
Yeah, that's it. You're pronouncing it the Igbo way now. Give us the typical Yoruba. Don't give us the Igbo to sing. All right, she's a mother, an entrepreneur, a counselor, a teacher of God's word, a microbiologist. Now, this one is quite interesting, you know, all the gems around us. And she's been into church administration for over 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, and a product alumni of Rema Bible Training College, Lagos Center. Of course, she is an author, and she gifted us some very wonderful books that I'll be sharing much later in the show. Good morning, ma. And thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you. And she said, I'm busy, but let me look at Tuesday. I said, no, this one, you will look into it.
It's so good to have
you.
Thank God you were able to make it anyway.
Yes.
That's another thing we need to thank God for.
Yeah. So I have a tradition of always picking something from my guests. I knew you're not expecting that.
I love her ring.
So your hand is big. No, the hand is small. I looked at your bracelet, I looked at your wristwatch. So I'm trying to see which one you're going to part with. You part with your bracelet. So I'm going to take that from you before the show ends. So just put that at the back of your mind. Welcome to the show. Welcome. It's so much honor to when I have people like you come on the show. It makes us feel like yes, we are doing a very good job. And we really appreciate that a whole lot. All right, to the conversation of today. I'm sure when I sent the topic to you, something came into your mind. Foster parenting. All right, let's start by asking, what is foster parenting and what's the difference with adoption?
Okay. And foster parenting is when kids are kept in your care who are not your biological children. You have kids handed over to you. The difference is, the way we do it here in Nigeria is different from the way they do it in the Western countries and go about it. And it's different from adoption. In foster parenting, the kids stay with you just for a while and come back to their parents when whatever issue. Some kids are maybe due to abuse, drug addiction, or even that some are abandoned. By the time they are able to locate their family, they return them. But in the case of adoption, the children, the parent takes in the children as theirs. Adopted children become part of the family. They have equal rights with other biological children in the family, or they have right to whatsoever belongs to their the parents that adopted them. But foster children have no such rights to, whatever belongs to the family. They don't have any claims, so they're there for a short while. Whatever after whatsoever reason led to their coming into the family is over, they go back to their parents, depending on what the initial decision was.
Initial decision. In other words, foster parents in a layman's language can be children who are not with any parents, like non-parents, and some may be actually having parents but decide to just want to be part of this family.
Yeah,
Can we also define it that way?
Yes, you can.
Because sometimes if they are not getting what they want from
their parents, that's it. They don't want
and their life, and they just see this family, maybe a family friend or an uncle or relative or out of relative, can also be,
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, I think maybe that's where we have godmother, godfather thing coming into play. You just decide to go and stay with your godfather for a long period of time just to
and at times parents even
give voluntarily.
To an auntie, somebody coming, it's okay. Maybe they feel they can't take care of this child very well.
So now become a ward to such
parents. Yeah.
So can we also call them a guardian?
Yeah, you can call them again. Foster parents can be called guardians, not adopted parents.
Not for me,
so that our viewers will understand.
Yes, foster parents can be called.
Foster parents again. What are you?
What are you fostering?
So We need to actually
Yeah.
get them, because Galaxy is all about the masses, and that's why we are what we are, you know, reaching for the stars. People that are not being picked, we decide to pick them because we have seen potential in them and we want to show them to the world. Okay, so what kind of training should a foster parent imbibe, embrace, hold on to, you know, to have a better understanding of what responsibility has landed over to them? What are those things that they need to, you know, the training they show to help them boost and make these children to be great?
Or before taking in the child, or why they've taken in the child?
Why they've taken in the
Why
child?
they've taken in the child?
What are those steps?
Yes, they need to understand. No, I'm taking in a child that's not your biological child. There are a lot of things that you don't know about the child. First of all, you need to get to know. So a foster parent needs to be able to equip themselves to understand the child they're bringing into their home. Get to understand that child. Some children might have a kind of a health defect, and so they need to know about it. You don't just wake up one morning and you see the child lying down and you don't even know what happened to the child overnight. You don't, not aware, maybe the child is asthmatic, and then you now put the child in a, very stuffy room and all that, and without having an idea of the nature of the child's health, and begin to panic. So you need to know some allergic to some kind of food. You try to find out, especially if it's a child that was handed over to you by the parents, or you have a knowledge of how that child came in. It's not like the ones that there are some kids that they actually pick on the streets that are abandoned. But you now try to study that child. That's why foster parenting is actually it's not just for everybody. That's why some people mess it up. You take children and you're not able to give them the best. It's not for everybody. So you're able to study that child, be able to know. There are things the child is allergic to. There are things the child does not fit into. Be able to get that child to fit into it for the period that child will be in your home. And then be able to understand also the educational level as much as possible. What in a way you can help that child to, plan their future. So by the time they are leaving your home, they are better off than the way they were when they came to your home.
You know, why we're still talking about this training, I think that's the reason why some kids will even prefer foster parents to. I know the situation that in fact you will hardly know that these parents were not her biological, because they really took her to that length when it came to education, you know. So I think training is very important, you know, before people get into this.
I add something before we go for a break. Now, you have some children you would love to pick on the streets. And as
you're thinking the spiritual. I know.
You know, sometimes
you're thinking spiritual.
You see, especially when you get to Ikeja under bridge, so these small boys in their teenage, like the video of that young boy in your brother said they pick, they kill people and pick up their kidney and all that. And you imagine, this boy definitely does it with the parents. Many of them just linger around. How would you, what advice would you give to someone who is longing to, it doesn't mean that, person whether you are still expecting your kids or you have own. Can you pick any one of them on the street and think you can really polish them and bring the best out of them? Before we go on a break, just say something like that.
Well, it all depends. You have to really be able to be caught out of that. I listened to someone that shared this kind of story once, and in fact it was her husband that was sharing it. One of her lecturers in Rema said the wife, in fact, once she sees anybody, it's like, oh honey, this person, we cannot leave this person by this. And once he just sees an abandoned person, he begins to reprogram his mind, because he knows his wife will say, this person cannot sleep the night here. So the first thing you do is, in such cases, is also to get the police involved in such cases, so that out of the blue, somebody does not come out and now accuse you of kidnapping or all such.
Thank you.
So,
Joy.
Very, very important. All right, we are still discussing foster parenting. Let's go on our word of marble and possibly our gospel. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Still trying to talk about foster parenting behind the camera, but all thanks to him, that I always know how to do his thing anyway.
Share.
Oh, Share is the one there. Well done. We are greeting you. Ima, either one, whether Ima or Shed, because I know it's Ima that is always fond of, getting us there. All right, we are still discussing foster parenting, and our guest is still very much in the studio live here with us. All right, ma'am. We're still talking behind the camera about the fact that you pick them, bring them home, and they go back to the streets. They want to just loiter around. They are used to that begging, they are used to people giving them. So when you now put them in the house, for them is bondage. And then I was also talking about the spiritual aspect. You carry somebody in my area where I come from, the part of Nigeria, very lovely part. They are so used to witches and wizards. Every little thing, they will lock you up and say they remain there. So we've had, and thank God, I remember there was a case where United Nations had to rescue a particular child that was locked for 2 weeks. They stabbed that child, no food, because allegedly they said the child was a witch, and today she's doing well. Maybe the witchcraft didn't want her to stay in the village. They wanted her to go to abroad. But now, is it really necessary to close the gap between biological parents of the child you are fostering with yourself? Because now sometimes a parent comes to you and say, I want you to raise this child, because foster parents to me are more like mentors. A lot, they will bring it to you and say, this child, I feel like I cannot, the child loves what you're doing, please take. Just like I just bring a child, tell Lord, okay, please train this child, so this child stays with you, do everything, and it's not necessary that I have to contribute to you. No, that child stays with you. Is it necessary to close the gap between her and myself when it comes to that child? Do I need to now, every decision I need to involve for those that know their parents, that know the parents of those children? And then some will just say, no, you've handed over the child to me, so any decision I take, automatically I have the right to take that decision. Because we are dealing with human beings, and for a clearer understanding, is it necessary for us to close the gap between the biological parents and the foster parents of the child you are?
I don't think it's actually the best to close the gap. It's better to leave it open. Leave the gap open so you can interact with them, because there are things you might still need to find out, especially in a case where the child handed over to you. It's still their child, and one day that child will go back to them. So it's not the best to close the gap.
That is heartbreaking. One day the child will steal salad, the child will steal Zumo.
Yes, even though there are some people at the end of the day, they end up adopting the child. I have there's a lady I know that has such a situation. She took the child, but after some time, well, in this case, the mom passed on, and her dad was already late. So the uncle that was just the next of kin taking told the family, okay, you can, I hand her over to you. And so they now had to do the proper adoption documentation, and for him it was the best, because no other member of the family was interested in the girl's well. And today, wow, the girl is something else. I mean, the education, everything, that you would hardly know she's not their biological daughter, apart from her age. And knowing them when they got married and her age, you know that, no, this one is not your daughter. That's the only way you know she's not their biological daughter. So it's not good in some cases to close the gap, because there are some things you might still want to. And there's some cases, even if you close the gap, by the time the kids are big, they will look for their parents. And so that relationship won't be there. I think it's better to leave it open. Let there be a flow of relationship between the foster parent and the biological parent. Let there be a proper flow of relationship. I think it will be good and healthy for the growth of the child.
But I want to add to that. Is it possible for a child who is coming from a bad parent? When I mean bad parents who are narcissistic, parents who are not
abusive,
abusive, they bring out the low self, that brings low self-esteem on the child. Can't we just close it while? Because such children, each time the parents come into their life, it's like a manipulating, it's like you are going back to the basis again. What you have tried to erase and flush out and try to bring, the parents to come again and will trigger up something else.
No, that's right. Like, in such cases, no one we started with, like, there are different situations that bring about. So it depends on the situation that led to the child being taken from the parents into fostering, into a foster home. So if it's such a case, it's better to close, let the gap be closed for a while, because it will help the child. There are some children that because of the experience they've had at home, the trauma, once they see whichever parents, it triggers everything, and all the work you've done, it's like it's a waste. So it's better to take them off. It's a whole total work of rebranding their whole system, their mind, resetting their mindset and everything. At least by the time they are whole in future and believing that the parents would have come out of that situation, they can. But while the child is still in the process, it's better to let that gap be closed.
Okay, I want to ask, what ways can foster parents create a safe and a secure environment for a child, just like we're talking about now, who is coming in from a traumatic experience with parents, environment, or family? What are those steps one needs to create to have a safe and a secure, kind of environment for such a child?
Okay, first they need to having a good understanding of what it was in the home where the child is being taken away from. They try to avoid that kind of environment in their own home. And then, if they already have their own kids, be able to know how to, you don't say everything about the child. It's not everything about the child you discuss with your kids. And then you have visitors, families coming in, and then you want to introduce, you limit the information you let out about the child, especially whether in front or behind the visitor, because there are some people that can't keep their mouth. And before you know what is happening, they will run it out, and the child now withdraws and begins to feel it's like, wow, is this place not, from fire to fire. Is this not worse where I'm coming out? Yeah, I'm not expecting this. This is terrible. So in such cases, include the information. Let it just remain within you and maybe the social worker or wherever you got the child from. Let it be there. And let the environment let's just create a lively home, different from where he or she is coming from.
Also, that particular child who has found himself or herself in a foster home whereby they feel insecure, they can also feel insecure, just like the little expression you just gave now, explanation just gave. As in, what should such a child do? Thank God you're a counselor. I'll hold on to that, you're a counselor. So, in a situation whereby maybe family and friends came in and suddenly the foster father or foster parents, one of them just said something that, out of the blues, when the child is not expecting, and you have lots of family and friends around, what should such a child do? Because it will happen. We are humans. And no matter how careful you may be, as they grow also, they are more or less like your children. So what your children will do is different from what a foster child can just bring up suddenly, and you're in the midst of family and friends. And suddenly after saying this, the child feels, withdraw back into a shell and just want to be alone. What should such a parent do? After apologizing, and you still see this child still withdraw back into himself. Sometimes it goes through their mind and feel like, I regret ever, coming into this family. So we are humans, something will go back.
We'll always go back, that will make you remember.
Thinking and all that. What should such a child do? And how should such a parent help to bring back the love they've always shared? Because sometimes your own child, the way you handle your child and their errors is different from the way you
Of course, it is different to an extent,
and their error, because we are human, we are not good. God will put everything on the platter and work it out. But your own children and your foster child, how these two scenarios, what should the parents do, the foster parent do, and what should the child that was embarrassed or that was stopped down in the presence of the rest of family members, what should such a child do?
Okay, no, one, it all depends on the age of the child. That's where we start from. That if it's a child in the teenage age, it's going to be a little, the work is going to be more than if it's an adult or a kid. If it's a kid, it's easy for them to
let go and just behave like nothing happened.
By the time you get them toys and whatever
by the time you start taking them from one eatery to chop to another,
it's off. But a teenager will sit down, take the whole thing in, and I begin to create pictures like, okay, am I really accepted in this place? I'm not sure what. I begin to think. So the first thing is to address that teenager, bring that teenager back home first, and just like the counselor, it's not the parent. Let that play the whole scenario again, and let the teenager take the teenager back to one or two things must have happened in the home, and it's like this and this. You actually believe that this will love you. You think they care for you. Let that teenager respond. I know they care for me. I know they love me, so you know they love you, and you know we are all bound to mistakes. You come from the part that look, everyone can make a mistake. Everyone can mess things up, can blow it up. So no one is perfect. Even your own parents cannot be. Nobody. Don't expect anything 100%. But let there be a place in your heart to forgive, knowing that one day you might be the one that will blow it up. What do you expect? What will you expect from the person you treat that way? So don't jump on the thing that why will you get angry after all this and that. No, just come from that back. Let him or her realize it that this person is also human and could make a mistake. And so give room for forgiveness. Gently, just gradually, you'll be able to pull him or her out of it. They might not get it at once in a day. Might not get it in bed. Gradually, with love,
with constant communication.
Then you keep praying for them. You need to pray, use a prayer backup for them. And then for the parent that have done it, of course, maybe it wasn't intentional. It just came out that way, and it's like, wow, I've blown it. How do I go about this thing? You've blown it. Apologize. Get the person. Yes, it's not your kid, but now you're taking care of this person, and you want to make the life better, like that of your children. Accept. Take responsibility of your action. And bring that, okay, I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for bringing, I shouldn't have said what I said. And I just want you to find a place in your heart to forgive me all about it. And I trust it won't happen again. And even if you see me try to make that mistake next time, just give me a key. Just make the person feel calm. Just feel, don't take it that after all it's my home, I can do whatever. If you don't want to stay, I'll take you back to your parents. No, because you've taken up the responsibility of making this person's life better, taking up the responsibility to be a parent, a mentor, to nurture this person. So there are things you have to just go out of the way to do.
Now, you know, when we talk about bringing in people into our home, it's always very easy, and we see it like, oh, sometimes I say, I just feel like picking one or two. I'm putting in my home and raising. Let's talk about the human aspect in us, the realistic aspect of every human. There's always that point that even with your own children, just like everybody should just get out. Just go. I don't want to, like, this period, I don't want to see anybody. Now, how do we handle cases where foster parents have abused the children in their care? Yesterday, we were talking about sexual abuse. And I said it's a continuation because today, we can't talk about foster parenting without talking about the abuse that most of the children go through. We've seen cases where a foster parent that has ended up marrying the girl that was brought for you to foster. So they now bring somebody to you and say foster. And the only thing you saw is, I want to marry this person. Now, kids or children that are being abused in foster homes, how do they speak out? Who do they run to? Because a parent will now, just like a case where you're running from your home to have a having, and where you're getting to is this thing. You can't go back home because your home is not safe. And you staying there, it's more like you're there. How do we save such children? Because it's happening even as we have this conversation. It's happening in the name of, oh, this is my godmother, my goddaughter, my God. Now we are trying to use that godmother, God in the name of fostering. And then sometimes also a child is leaving school to another state, and you carry your child and say, oh please, this is where my child will be staying. So automatically that child, you're supposed to be a foster parent to that child for as long as that school section is on. And we hear terrible things, maltreatment, to beating, a whole lot. How do we save those children's mind from a point of a counselor?
Okay. First, if it's a child that was handed over by the parents, like in case you brought up now going to school, or maybe you said whatever, and the parents were totally involved in it, they should pick their child back. Pick your child back and change whosoever, or change the arrangement. If it's a lot, you can change the school to closer to where you are. They must not attend that school, and at the end of the day they come out back broken and shattered. Change the school to closer to where you are. And for kids that they just pick that, okay, we still even hand over, especially in this Nigerian customary system and everything, is like, take my child and then it's better. And you find that, no, at times such children, you can't even speak to your parents. They feel that whatever you get, especially if they're gaining something from that family, it's like what they're gaining, put it over the interest of their child, which is totally bad. And that's where, if they can report to social workers, it is possible for that child to get it involved to any.
Sometimes it's even the neighbors, people around that see these things, that even talk about it, that report it.
That report it, yes.
Because
it's better to report it and remove that child. That's why in the Western world, it's a bit better. Once they get information of that, that child is moved away from that home and moved somewhere else. Because this child was brought here for, to help build the mind and brain to work well, and now you're causing more trouble. So they move it. But over here in Nigeria, that most of the time is the parents that's like, okay, take my child. It's not always that the government is not usually involved. The social work is not involved. It's just parents to parents, and that's where it makes it a little bit difficult. So difficult. But if there is somebody that child can trust, has gained the trust, like within the family there, or even in the family he or she is coming from, if you can confide in that person, if there's a way to move that child away from this, better. Because if not, at the end of the day, the child's life becomes nothing. And that's where you find out at the end of the day, those kids come out, and they come out worse than they were before they went to that
Sometimes,
place.
can you say that due to poverty, a lot of parents hand over their children for foster parenting? Because in the rural areas, if you travel, and I'm saying this even in my community, if you travel, you see parents that are willing to dash you. They'll just take, yes, just like they are willing to take, just go and let the person go to city. So is it poverty, or is just the mentality that if the child is in the city, the child will make it? Because they are not even interested what you do in the city. They're not interested how life is for you in the city. If I travel to my village, some people say, they are ready to dash you. They don't want to even. So what could be the cause? Because yes, we have some much foster parenting that but we are talking about those ones that are in the rural that just want to dash in the name of just letting them come and stay with you.
Just like you said, we put it like poverty, and a lot of people will take it like, oh, what's happening in the nation now? What's happening? You will not do family planning. You don't want to do family planning. You keep having kids. I don't know what is wrong with having with 1 or 2 kids, and you can take care of them very well. It's a problem. No, you want to have kids to populate the whole of your community, and then at the end of the day, you make the life of those children uncomfortable. So you can't feed them. And anyone that comes and is like, okay, this one can afford 2-3 square meters. Oh yeah, take, just like you said. And at the end of the day, the children go there, they don't do anything. Most of them are turned into maids, and turning them into maids does not even, because you see some of these parents at times, they want to be paid. They collect things, yes, for giving you the child. So at the end of the day, you're selling off your child, and that's why if anything goes wrong and that child is calling for help from home, they don't want to give an ear to it because of what they are gaining in such a situation. So it's like, what's your problem? Not your mates that are making it there. What can't you adjust? Can't you do it this or whatever? They don't want to know. I mean, you've seen
Because
such
of
cases,
our
and it's not the best.
I'll find one to ask what are the advantages of being a foster parent?
Yeah.
The advantages, disadvantages, that comes with being a foster parent.
Okay.
Can you share with us?
Okay, for the foster parent, not
for
the
the
child.
foster parent.
Yeah. Advantages. Well, the advantage is at least you're able to help a life become better. Help a life become better because, I mean, like they generally put that it's not only one person that can train a child, and you can never tell who will be there for you tomorrow. You know, I've seen a case where the lady, in fact, by the time she lived and passed on, it was during her burial that we realized that all these children are foster children, no biological child, they're all foster. She trained them, gave them such a good training, and their parents, they came from homes that their parents were still alive, some she picked, but polished them. And about the way she lived, they built houses for her. So everybody thought they were her children. Was during her burial when it was like, no, who will do this for mama? Who will do? I was like, I'll do this for mama. You know this person's child. You know this person's child. I was like, it is this woman. What I am today, she made me what I am today. And they were all. So that's joy of seeing somebody's life become better, seeing somebody become a vision of who God intended that person to be. That joy is like the advantage. Be able to pour in something positive into somebody, and the person will be able to fulfill their dreams. I think if no other thing, that's one thing that gives joy for me.
The dangers now.
The danger is that, just like I said initially, you might not know if you don't have a good knowledge of the background of that child, health-wise especially. You might find yourself running into a situation that might not be too good if not well handled. And for any reason that life is lost, I mean, you will not be able to live over it.
You will need to tell the stories that touches the heart. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Yes, we have a book here from our guest. It is titled "My Mother-in-Law, My Mentor." Now you see, for
Ruth and Naomi.
You get, for those people that used to say, "I won't get married until your mother is late." We hear that
some will not say I won't get. They say I don't
want anyone with mother-in-law.
Forgetting
that someday you too you become a mother-in-law. I was talking to somebody and he said what, and this was very close person to me. He said his girlfriend said that she didn't have plan of getting married to somebody that the mother was still alive. I said go and tell her that I pray that when she gets married, somebody would not pray that kind of prayer. All right.
It's a beautiful time we spent together this morning. Like I said, please be positive about good things God has set before you today. Be good to yourself, love one another, share your love, and celebrate others while you celebrate yourself. My name is Remendo. We hope to see you tomorrow. Have a splendid and a wonderful day ahead of you. Bye for now.
All right, thank you for being a part of Family and Values. This morning, time is never our friend on the show. Before you start the conversation, Buna at 10 a.m. is here. And of course, we'll have to round up the show. Tomorrow, we will be discussing creating a stable home environment. It's very important, creating a stable home environment, especially now that we've talked about sexual abuse, foster parenting. Let's have that conversation and see how to make the home a stable one for our children. And yes, you can reach us across so that you can get one of the books from our guest, on the show. She's giving it out free. Don't worry, you're not paying for it. Her gift to family and values. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being a part of our show this morning. All right, my name still remains Princess Joy Ayo Abu. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday with a difference. Please be safe out there and have an empathetic heart towards one another. Have a great day.